The first lecture usually is a theoretical lecture, so I have to choose a subject. And you may not believe, but I cannot choose a subject and I cannot prepare a subject, as you all know, until the last moment. And I said, God, what shall I talk to these people? And what is the most useful for the people to listen? You have one chance, 1 hour. Okay, what will be the most useful? So this time I have chosen a subject. I thought of a subject, not of the details. Whatever comes will come out spontaneously. But I have chosen a subject which you may be surprised. I will not tell you the subject. You will realize it on the process. And I want to say this, that classical homeopathy which was taught by Hahnemann, Kent, and I have followed on these lines, is a homeopathy which is very difficult in its application. But it is the most effective way of applying homeopathy. That's for sure. And I know a lot of you may be using mixtures of remedies, etc. And I know some also use other methods, whatever. But what I have realized in these 57 years of practice, pure homeopathy, pure unicist homeopathy, what I have realized is that sometimes the cures that we obtain by using one remedy is so impressive, so unbelievable, that you see the result and you say, oh my God, who has done it? And this is the subject on which I want to talk to you. Because learning this type of homeopathy will lead you to have some successes in your practice that will be so impressive, so impressive. In the beginning, you are impressed. Eventually, you get a little bit used. This is okay. And eventually, you don't pay any more attention in spite of having great successes, because people are coming and your practice increases more and more and more. And in this process of protecting the patients with these little remedies, in this process you get involved so much that you miss a parameter which is very important. And I must say that people who follow strictly the path of trying to find each time the correct remedy become better and better year after year. The results are impressive more and more. This does not happen when you use mixtures of remedies, different other methodologies, etc., etc. And I'm not going to talk about such people who have a mediocre effect in their practice. I'm going to talk about the people who are very successful, taking the knowledge and applying it. And I'm going to talk to you, the subject I'm going to talk to you now is not only for protecting or the part that is protecting the patients, but the part of protecting the homeopath. You may say, what, are we in danger? We don't understand. But my experience is that those of my students who have been so successful, they have many times paid a price that was very dear. You will say, why? For different reasons. But the main reason is that they felt that their successes was their own attainment. I'm so good, homeopathy. I give a remedy and everything disappears and everything goes away. If you are caught in this mood, in this mode of thinking that, oh my God, look, I am a miracle man. You see, I'm giving remedies and I cure everything. If we are caught in such a state of mind, there is a big danger, huge danger, because I have seen best people being destroyed, having been in such a kind of state of mind. And I will explain to you what happens. In your area, when people start knowing the effect that your treatment has, they are coming more and more. And there is a time where people will ask you to teach me, what are you doing? I want also to learn. So you automatically, either you want it or not, you become a teacher. You see, I remember the first time I was teaching when I returned in Greece, and I was teaching medical doctors, and I didn't want to appear myself as a teacher, and I had 2-3 students whom I have taught, and I said to them, you teach, and I will be sitting down there. If you make a mistake, maybe I will try to correct, but you teach. And then, of course, being inexperienced, they made a lot of mistakes, and many times they had to ask, and I would jump in there giving the answer. And finally, the other doctors, they said, why doesn't he come to teach us? Why you teach? We want him to teach us. And I was very proud. I became a teacher. And I was very happy also. I was very happy. And then I started teaching. And people were very happy. And I teach materia medica, for instance. And they say, please teach us materia medica. I said, yes, but everything is in the books. Go and study. No, you tell materia medica differently, etc. And the ego was inflated. At the same time, I started, of course, treating people, having medical doctors watching. And then soon, of course, I found out that I could not cure everybody. And some people, they say, you are God, you are blah, blah. And some others, they came and said, nothing happened. I took the remedy, nothing happened. You see? So I realized soon that this idea of a human being, a homeopath, a healer, meeting with a patient who was suffering for many years, this condition, he comes to ask help from me. And I hear his problems, and I know I have 2,000 possibilities of a remedy to prescribe. And I'm trying to find which is the correct one for that person. It was a very difficult process sometimes. Some other times, it was given some information from the patient, which I knew what to do immediately. And it was like somebody sometimes will give me this information, and it was easy, and sometimes I could not get the information. So finally, I realized that this phenomenon of curing a patient, which is different than any other cure that happens with conventional medicine, with herbs, with mixtures of remedies, with musicotherapy, flower, Bach flower, it's different. It's different. When you give the correct remedy and you see the total action of the remedy on the whole organism, you say, oh my God, what happened? And they come back and they say, I had a headache, it's gone. Constipation is gone. I had diarrhea, it's gone. I had my heart, it's gone. My heart, my headaches, everything is gone. You say, now what's going on? Why this person gives me information which is so easy for me? But of course I have prepared myself. I have studied quite a lot, so I know something. Because if you don't know anything, it doesn't matter what the patient will say. The patient can tell whatever his life story, and sometimes by telling his life story, he feels better. And that is most of the time that happens with the homeopaths. We let them tell their story, and after telling, it's like a psychiatry, psychoanalysis. And comes out, the patient comes out, he's a good doctor. He's a good doctor because the fact that this person said the most innermost things that bother him, is feeling much better. He's feeling much better. The same with the confession. If you go to a priest and you confess, it's the same idea. You confess your sins. That means what you feel guilty about. And then you feel light, etc. And then this is called a placebo effect in conventional medicine. But I'm not talking about this. Because many times I have seen this happening with me also. You see, the people go away and then they telephone sometimes. They say, I'm feeling better. Should I take the remedy? I said, no. No. Because I know after a week or two, he will call back, says, my symptoms are back. Because the excitement of the hope that this doctor is going to help me can have an effect which is called the placebo effect. So the homeopathy I'm talking about has nothing to do with the placebo effect. Has a lot to do with a reset of the organism, an organism who is disturbed through a process of years of suffering, with a lot of intervention in this organism from different types of medicine and therapies, etc., to come back to a harmony. It's like a miracle. So when you see that and you are not aware that you cannot do it every time, because if it was your ability, you should be able to do it every time. Why you cannot do it every time? Something else, another factor is interfering in this process of healing. And which is this factor? Most probably it's a factor of which we do not have control. We do not control that factor. We don't know why it was so easy for us to cure. I remember in my first years, back in the 1960, when I started treating people, I hardly missed any case. Every time I will give a remedy, it was a miracle. I said, what is this? I must go and study it somewhere. This is fantastic. I was writing all over the universities, all over the world, England, America, etc. Where can I study homeopathy? Nowhere. In 1960s, nowhere. It was dead. Homeopathy was totally dead in Europe or in America. And I remember University of California wrote back a letter saying, we don't have it anymore, the subject, we don't teach it. But you can go to Mexico, the independent school of homeopathy in Mexico City. And then I received information that in India also there were colleges. So I had to decide where to go. But what I want to say now is that in the beginning, I hardly missed a case. Today, I missed half of the cases. In half of the cases, I make a mistake. You see, when I was teaching in India, there is nobody from India today, so I can speak openly. When I first went back to India to teach, people, they come around, etc., we discuss, and said, what is your rate of success? I asked them, what is your rate of success in cancer? 100%. I said, 100%? You cure all cancers, all types? Yes. Homeopathy can cure all types of cancer. I said, oh my God. And it says, I asked somebody else, what is your percent? You're a good homeopath. 100%. I said, oh my God, where have I come to teach? But anyhow, the idea that we sometimes can cure a case of cancer doesn't mean homeopathy cures all types of cancer. Don't get this idea. And therefore, today, I have much more difficult cases here. Who is coming to be treated, to do all the journey, to come to be treated? Only cases desperate. So that is why my rate of success is so low. You are in a much better position. You are in my position during these years, in the 60s, where you give a remedy and acts, and it's fantastic, the result. But this is the problem. Because if you believe you can cure all cancers, you can cure everybody, you can cure all diseases, and you are great and things like that, you are going to have a surprise which is going to be very painful. And that is what I have to advise you today, where I see experts, I see people who are using homeopathy for many years, not to make the mistake to believe what the patients are saying when they are praising you. Do not listen. Do not listen when they say, "You're so great, blah, blah, blah." You will hear unbelievable things because the patient who has been cured feels you saved his life. And this is a tremendous thing. But don't listen. Don't take it inside. Because if you take it inside, I am great. I have done it. What is waiting for you on the long run? It is disappointments and false accusations, not false accusations. I will tell you what happens. You believe you can cure everybody. Suddenly you find out you cannot cure everybody. And there is a kind of traumatic experience, and then you want to hide it. And then you want people to keep on believing you can cure everything. And this is the worst thing, because you present yourself, you bring in the seminars, you bring all your successes. You have 3 successes in a year, and you bring them and show them to the students, and you say, "Oh, what a great teacher. Oh, yes, he cured this case. I can see in the video." No, it's not that. You have to sit next to the teacher all the day, every day, watching what in every case has happened in order to see the real truth. The real truth is that he is presenting a case or 2 cases or 3 cases in a congress or in a class. It's not real. The reality is that behind it there are a lot of the opposite of success is failures, a lot of failures. And we have to admit why. Because if you keep on doing this, presenting yourself, I'm great, I have done this, and come and teach, and you present your greatness and all that, there is something inside the person that says this, the conscience that says, "Hey, you are a liar, you tell lies. You are a liar, you are a liar, you are a liar." And what happens is a turmoil inside that you have to calm down, the turmoil. And what will happen? The most easy, you know what it is? You know this is what it is? You know this? No, this is whiskey and vodka. Which is vodka? You cannot see it. It's vodka inside in the... Why? Because through this anxiety, which I have to cover with a lot of spirit. Not that spirit, but this spirit. And then, very successful homeopath, suddenly you find out he's an alcoholic. Oh my God. And then they very good homeopaths, very tremendous homeopaths, they run back to me, I'm destroyed from drugs. Why you take so many drugs? Because so much pressure. Pressure. Why? Because everybody thinks he's great. He says, come and teach, come here, come there, come to the other country. And then, of course, they teach not the truth. They tell lies. And the lies are transferred inside as anxiety state that has to be calmed down only by marijuana, ayahuasca, what's called LSD, cocaine, heroin. It's nice. And a very good homeopath who was not humble enough to admit that I cannot cure everybody. I will try to help you, but that's all I can do. This condition of having the information which will give me the confidence to give you the correct remedy, that condition is something beyond us. It's something which it's like, how can I say, the spirit. It's the spirit, but not that spirit. And I've seen many times, I have seen tragedies, you see, and something else also, that as long as somebody is keeping himself into a state of, I don't know everything, he keeps on studying, keeps on learning. Once you say, I learn, you see, I have students who they said, now I learn, we don't need George. You see, they stop coming. I don't complain, because if all my students kept on coming all the time, I don't know what to do, okay? So it's good, they take this advantage, and then they say, now we learn everything. We know George, we know what he says. Now we don't need to go anymore to George. Okay, they cannot, they stop. Once they stop, what happens? A lot of patients, because they are successful, especially in the beginning, and then no time for studying. You see, because no, man, now become rich, I will become rich, you know, you become rich, and starts the downward motion. You are losing information. Very good students of mine, they have not been able to see a simple belladonna case. I missed it. And the woman came with vertigos for years. To whom you have been? To one of your students, one of the best. How long? 3, 4, 5 years. What he gives you? A list of remedies, but no belladonna. How is that possible? This is simple belladonna case. He did not recognize it. Why? Because he is the master now. So be careful of the masters, like me also. I don't take away myself, and I have to admit, you see, being a homeopath who wants to keep his prestige, he will find always a way to justify his wrong prescription. He will say one different things. He will never say, I made a mistake. And of course, it's not good to say to the patient, I made a mistake. But it is good to say it to yourself and to realize yourself that you have made a mistake. Or to tell, when you teach, to tell, yes, maybe I can see your case because they bring the mother, the father, the children, etc. But you cannot say, come, I will cure you. I have never said that in my life. Because every time I know I can make a mistake. I may not be able to see the remedy. And therefore, I choose the best possible remedy, of course. I give it. But it's not good enough. So, I choose to speak about this subject because I have seen that the best prescribers can go astray, either because of, I'll tell you the three main reasons for going astray. Shall I tell you? Yes. One is love for money. Attached. More money, more money. The second is love of pride. And the third, who can tell me? Power. Power is not what kind of power. It's okay, but I will say it in a symbolic way. Love for women. Love for pleasure, physical pleasure. Because you've been exposed to a lot of people, you have the possibility to have a lot of, here and there and things like that. You understand, everyone understands. Don't pretend you look at me and you are so innocent you don't understand what I say. But anyhow, these three things, love for pleasure, love for money, and love for pride, for the ego. The love of egotism, the love of ego is a tremendous impediment in the life of a homeopath. Be careful. Because I give you a knowledge which is going to be very powerful knowledge, as you all know, you have heard, etc. But be aware how to use it, because on the long run there is the danger. You will have to deal with your conscience, and you may not be able to come out intact as a whole person. You may be cut off in pieces. You know, when a patient comes, have you ever heard, and you will hear it if you have not heard, they will say when they are well, I feel whole. I feel I am a whole again. This idea is the coming to the consciousness, to our awareness, the feeling that we are again one. We are not pieces of thoughts and bad thoughts and thoughts of feelings of hatred, feelings of jealousy, feelings of, you see, why the patient is coming? Because he's not feeling a whole. If he was feeling a whole, even a pain, a physical pain, can be tolerated easily. The moment that there is a breaking down of the feelings, of the harmonious feelings inside, there is a big problem in the life of this person. And he does not realize it because I receive a lot of money, or a lot of successes, I'm greatest, or a lot of women, a lot of whatever you want for pleasure, you know. And then, on the long run, you lose the information and you go deeper and deeper into distraction. I tell you this because I have the possibility to experience all this myself. It was a time to feel very proud. Oh, I'll go and teach. Now I go and teach and I say, oh my God, what shall I say? I don't know. You see? So there is, you see, you have come to a working place that you are learning something unique, something very valuable, if you understand what is taught, of course. So therefore, this kind of subtle information, this precious information has to be respected and to be used accordingly. You see, like treat this talent you have as something very precious, very useful for society. You can realize very soon in your life that even people who are aggressive in the society, with your remedy, with stramonium, siamos, nux vomica, etc., they become nice people in the society. And it's very interesting that when you have judged somebody that he was a bad person who was expressing hatred and who was expressing bad feelings, etc., now he has become a different person altogether. He comes in the environment and spreads harmony and peace. Why? Because his thoughts and feelings are peaceful and calm. So do not think that the others does not understand what we're thinking. I'm saying, hello, my dear, I love you. No. And in the meantime, the back brain says, you see, the back is different, but the back is transferred. It's transferred because we are connected in this planet through an energy which keeps us alive. So it depends on us whether peace will come on this planet or not. It depends on us. So you will tell me, okay, homeopathy is going to save the world. Well, I will tell you something. If we had the possibility to teach homeopathy in all the medical schools of the world, I can tell you the world in 4 years course, in 4 years time, will change the direction which is going today. 4 years time, coming out people who know what to do, treating people, getting the aggression out of people, make them realize what is of value and what is not of value. Because the moment you are in anxiety state, the moment you are involved in your ego, to control and to kill and to enslave, etc., it's not possible to think logically. Homeopathy is a blessing, I'll tell you. It's really a blessing, and it is so subtle that even ourselves that we give the remedy, we don't believe how this little thing has worked. We try to explain sometimes maybe we'll be able to explain.